Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. That's how we open the show at 8:12 at night.
I
Good
mean, it's
afternoon. It's
afternoon
afternoon
and
somewhere.
probably LA,
There we
where
go.
Tim is the GM of the Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Who am I?
Vegas Raiders.
I thought I was going to be all right. I did
The
all my
Packers, I thought.
I did all
Oh
my
wait,
Ravens research, and then
wait. I
Dave
said no.
steals it
Oh,
from
that's
me.
why you're wearing purple.
That's why I was
Sneaky
wearing
Dave.
purple. And look,
Yeah.
Tim is wearing gray. It just worked out that way.
Uh,
Wrong
all
sport.
right. This is a great start to the show. I am Steve. I got my friend Timmy T right on over there.
Gator don't play no
Celtics.
shit.
The Gator don't play no shit. Got the Celtics shirt on. Got the Celtic on the wall. The little clover there. I like it, representing the team. And then in less than a month, we got a St. Patty's Day, where everybody has the excuse to drink. Dave Mello, right down there. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much. Getting ready to defend these Baltimore Ravens.
Now I got to do my
All
research.
right.
Oh, bitch, give me a minute. I got to research.
Wait, we're doing research?
You said we have to GM a team. I can't just make shit up. I have to research.
Let's focus on on the quarterback situations. I think that's where we could spread a little bit from there, but that's where we'll go. And don't worry, everybody, we are not leaving our post here. We have not been hired. We would never leave you to be the GM of a pro football team. So
Yeah, I'd only leave for Barstool Sports if they called.
wow, rivals, get out, get out, get out now. All right, so on this episode, it's going to be a little bit shorter than what we're normally, about 45 minutes or so. We're going to talk NBA All-Star Weekend. Was it great? Was it terrible? Was it somewhere in between? We're going to talk about some comments made by a player and the commissioner of the NBA on load management. Timmy, I don't know if you've heard those comments yet, but there's an enabler. That's all I've got to say. There's an enabler out there for this load management stuff, and then we'll get into some GM talk. So that's what the deal is with this. We'll get into it later, but Timmy's going to GM the Raiders, mostly centered around the quarterback situation. Mello is going to take control of the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens. Nice purple, perfectly done there. And I didn't do this on purpose, but I will GM the New York Jets, and I cannot wait to do that. I can't wait. So if you got Jet fans in your life, go ahead and do that. Send it out. Send them out to all the peoples out there. Ravens and Raiders. We're gonna fix these teams, or use people, or we make them worse, like they've done to themselves over the years. All right, so let's first things first. NBA All-Star Weekend, man, what a story! First of all, in the slam dunk contest, Dave, I'm gonna start this off with you. Was the slam dunk contest saved this year?
Oh man! So this is something I heard Kenny the Jet Smith say as soon as McClung won the dunk contest. And don't get me wrong,
He's back to
the
the G
man-
League playing tonight.
the man was impressive. What he did out there, you give him so much props because he made it interesting to watch. He completely destroyed the competition because there was no one in his league. He missed no first dunk. All his dunks were impressive. They were creative, things that we haven't really seen, or if he paid homage to some, he added something extra of his own, which is what we have been asking for years. Now, has it been saved? I don't think so, because people still don't want to participate in this. There's still no star power. What are the chances that we have four Mac McClungs every single year? There's very rarely. Like you said, he's back in the G League now. What are they going to do? Call up G Leaguers every single time? That's not going to get anyone to watch anything. It's going to put people to bed. I know people who forgot it was All-Star Weekend this week. And why? It's because there's no star power anymore. And I know Timmy might agree with me on this one, and maybe you are going to be on the fence with this one. But I think there's one person to blame, and that is the all-time scoring leader. Because at that point, before LeBron had even made it relevant or known that he wanted to do the All-Star dunk contest, it was still getting people watching. There were still all these high-profile athletes, Blake Griffin, your Dwight Howard's doing the dunk contest. After he said, "Oh, I'm doing it next year," and then he backed out, and then backed out again and again, it just showed, okay, he doesn't care. Obviously, none of these other guys care either, and it just became like, nah, I don't want to do that. You can't even do the skills challenge, which is the easiest thing you could do there. So I feel like he's partial to blame for that. Why all the star power just left? Because back in the day, I mean, you had Jordan, Dominique, Vince Carter, Kobe, Jason Richardson, all these guys that they were fantastic in this contest and they thrived.
Spud Webb.
Spud Webb.
So I feel like him backing out kind of made it okay for everyone else to back out. And from there, I mean, the dunk contest has been mediocre. Besides this year, I mean, there was another year with Aaron Gordon. I think it was Zach LaVine that was pretty good. But again, it's no star power.
The candle blowing out. Was that one?
No, that was Gerald Green that did that.
I didn't know if it was. I couldn't remember if it was in the same contest.
Aaron Gordon did the between the legs where he went and then he went over the.
I remember.
Down and went between his legs, and then he jumped over the mascot.
Yes. Yeah, and to your point, all everything valid there. But to your point, the creativity, it's certainly been lacking. Outside of those guys that we kind of just mentioned and you touched upon, but it like what was the part of the allure is that he's white. Okay, right. That's first of all, and some of the interviews were leading that way. How does it feel to be the second white guy to win this? And he was all about it. White man can't jump, all that stuff. It's a fun thing, and that's what the dunk contest should be. But you're absolutely right. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody came to see him at the dunk contest, but. I mean, he put on a show. My boy Sims, did you saw his dunk? Nobody gave him any love for that.
No, what was he the one that?
I'm joking. Don't get serious.
That he tore up the envelope. Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. It took him longer to do that than the, but the height that he got to lift to put his whole arm through the.
No, boss. No. Stop.
But
he said he got a 50.
Boom.
I'm about to GM the fuck out of the NBA right now because you guys. I think you guys just solved it though. Well, you just said he's a G leaguer, right? He came out of nowhere. No one's expecting him to win. Nobody knew he was playing, right? And you talk about how there's no star power. What if now you start looking at people like teams maybe picking a guy off the streets, these street hoopers, the guys who play in New York, the guys who play in LA. Get some amateurs in there just for the fun of it. I mean, it's going to be different. If no one wants to watch the All-Star game anyway or any of the shit that's going on, why not try something new? Why not try something crazy? I mean, it'll work for basketball. It won't work for baseball. It won't work for football. Well, I think it would work for basketball.
Well, I don't know. Baseball doesn't really do a skills weekend, right? They just do the softball game?
The home run derby.
Oh, they do the home run derby.
No, but I don't want to see.
Still competes in that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, baseball is different. I'm just saying for basketball, what if you got local town hero who is awesome at dunks on the street, come on in and try. It'll be something to root for. It'll be interesting to watch some no-name amateurs come off the street and do it. If the NBA players aren't going to do it, get somebody in there who wants to do it and put on a show.
What if it becomes a like some of the reality shows, the player, the star, becomes the coach of the guy off the streets. So, like for example, LeBron takes a guy from Los Angeles, or wherever you're playing in, not your hometown, and I don't know. Curry picks somebody from San Francisco or Oakland and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just don't see like what you said, Mello. I don't see the stars just jumping back in there and getting back at it. So maybe if you can get the star power as a coach, to coach up that guy, like the voice, the voice.
I mean,
turn around.
That definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just shouldn't they all, if they're going to be coached,
trademarked by the way on this show.
Shouldn't they at least have done it once? Like if I'm gonna have my coach, I want it to be Dominique or Vince Carter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just brought up I just brought up names.
No, I know.
Just,
That's not a bad idea to try to revamp it. I don't. They have to do
Well,
something with salt.
honestly, because I know I've seen videos of guys playing uptown who are doing ridiculous shit with the ball, and I'm like,
No.
how is this guy not playing professionally? How he's not playing in the summer league? And like, how he should be on All Star Saturday Night Dunking if he can do that shit. You never know. Shit, I think it'd be fun to watch a bunch of amateurs go at it. If nobody wants to watch the people they got, might as well try something new. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
and if the stars aren't,
I was gonna say it's a
wanting to
good
do it.
idea.
Yeah.
But then you have the problem where are the casual fans gonna tune in for it?
Right.
Like, are they going to? I don't think.
Are
so.
they doing it now?
Some people.
I didn't watch the slam dunk contest. I didn't watch the 3-point contest, and I did not watch the skills challenge. I watched highlights of it all, but we'll get into the game in a second. But I didn't watch any of those. I enjoyed the highlights. I enjoyed the dunks. Dame was like, I'm retiring from this thing if I don't win it this year, and he did. But yeah, as Ed was talking about, skills challenges. I always look forward to All Star Saturday Night, but skills challenge is kind of weak though.
Well, they changed that format too.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
and
it's like the bigs
that's
versus
the thing,
smalls.
right?
I don't know why they did that.
So we think we may have kind of sort of fixed the slam dunk contest.
Do they still do the NBA player, WNBA player with the three of them work together?
No.
See, I kind of like that. I thought that was cool.
I enjoyed that too. Where they have to take the half court shot. They took that
Yeah,
off
the three,
a couple
the half,
years
the
ago.
layup. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought so because you have like a legend, but then there's some cities that don't have like a WNBA player like us. Like Miami, I think the year that we had it, we borrowed someone. I forgot who it was.
Borrow someone. Who cares? What's the big deal? It's still fun.
Well, somebody from New York. We come down here anyway.
Yeah.
We're here anyway. By the way, the Liberty has. I don't watch WNBA, but I heard the Liberty have a super team.
You're the problem.
I am the problem. I mean, I'll watch them this year.
So, and then the other thing for the dunk contest,
Probably not going to. Like, just watch Bill Burr. I don't want to go into the reasons behind it, but just watch the Bill Burr skit.
Okay.
But we support the WNBA.
Always
We support the WNBA.
support the women's side.
On camera, Tim. We support the WNBA.
Go local team.
Liberty. And yeah, the last thing is let's not invite Karl Malone back to anything.
Oh my God.
To judge anything, please.
So I don't know if everybody knows the whole Karl Malone story. That he got a 12-year-old pregnant when he was 20.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm sure. How old is he now? It's been 40 years. Not that excuses anything, but what else does he say to that instead of no? I'm not answering that. That kind of thing. Like what else can he? I don't even know what he said back then. To be honest with you.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't that ostracized or publicized back then as it is now, where everyone gets canceled. So I just NBA should probably hey.
But if anything calls for some cancellation, that does.
Absolutely.
if anything, a 20-year-old impregnated.
The fact they made him a judge, I was like, come on, guys.
Was this
Be a little
known
smarter.
back in the day?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how, like Dave was saying, publicized it. If it was social media back then, I'm sure, like he would have.
See, I'll disagree with you because if this is new,
It's not that new.
and the daughter's 40, let it go. Who cares? Don't cancel the guy. He's still an NBA all time fucking player.
No, of course, but as the NBA, you should honestly be sensitive about that situation and let's not make him a judge.
Say, ladies and gentlemen, here's Judge, Father of the Year, Karl Malone. There you go. Let's make a joke out of it.
I don't know. I don't remember any of it.
No, I don't. I never heard that ever before until, like I said, the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, if that's the case, it just came to light.
I think now it's just more out there.
I don't think it would.
But it's been out there for a while because I mean,
he's probably a great grandfather. But he could be a great grandfather by now. let it go.
That's true. I need to look in on that to see when that came out, because I know it's not a new thing
No.
that just came out, but I don't know when it came out. So all right,
Fowler's a weird dude anyway. I mean, he's a redneck living in the woods by himself kind of guy.
yeah,
So
he's a woodsy guy. All right, now to the actual game itself. I did my best. I had it on, but I was super uninterested. I just a couple of things here. If you don't know, if you had to guess how many 3-pointers were taken in this game, just take a guess, wild guess, total
68.
68. And on a normal night these days, it's 25 to 30 3-pointers per team. It feels like.
Oh,
Dave, what's your
78
guess?
then. 78 then.
78. Okay. Dave, what's your guess?
105.
You're both low.
Wow.
It's both sides, right?
130 3-pointers were taken. Now there was one part that I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," where they were going back and forth, taking deeper shot, like Dame.
Was that cool?
It was like a 30-second thing. I thought that was okay, and then the other part that I liked that people had a problem with was the Celtics guys guarding. They were on different teams.
Oh, I
They
love
guarded
that.
each other. Did you see that? Yeah, you didn't have a problem with that. Okay, good. So somebody you take a snippet in time, and they were like, "Oh, this is what the All-Star game is now," and it was just the two guys playing basically one-on-one, and then the rest of the guys on the side. But it was because they're teammates. It's Brown and Tatum. That's also a cool little all-star moment where teammates get to guard each other. And Brown hit a 3 on him. Tatum hit a 3. Tatum scores 55 points, sets the new record. But I don't know, Timmy. I don't know if did you even try? The Mad Dog said, "I did my best. I watched the first 7 minutes and then I turned it off."
I heard Stephen A. Smith fucking go crazy.
It was terrible. It wasn't.
Crazy.
It was like 190, or the halftime score was like 99 to 94 or something like that. Dave, your overall review of it?
So, since I've watched the All-Star game the last few years just because they made that change where the last quarter was always the best quarter because people actually play defense and they're trying to win the game. So I sat through the first quarter and the second quarter and the third quarter where all these guys are just jacking up threes and
Olay defense. Oh,
yeah. Oh, look, they went to go lay in
The
a
red-
ball. And then LeBron James might play one lick of defense, and he ends up getting hurt by playing defense. So it kind of even made things worse for these guys because they're like, oh, LeBron James is out because he decided to try to go for a block and hit his finger on the rim, and now he's out. So it was even worse after that. I was hoping for this fourth quarter to be good, and it still was competitive. Like, not competitive, it was still close. So they still could have came back and won. And no, these guys just were like, yeah, they cashed the paycheck and just continue with the same like little layup, no defense threes, offensive rebounds, go back dunks. Until the end.
the last 10 shots, 9 of them were threes, and then
Yeah,
Tatum
and
finally.
most of
drove.
them were like I think like the first before Tatum made that last one. Most of them were like half court shots, so you could tell they weren't even taking it serious. So to me, that fourth quarter kind of made me feel so out of it, and it felt like a joke. But I was like, okay, you guys obviously don't really care about this game. Why should I?
Right.
So it kind of like
exactly.
It got me kind of upset at the end where I'm like, bro, like how are you just gonna phone it in like this?
And then I think it's the head coach of the Jazz said, I know they're out there, they're having fun, fans, but that was the worst basketball game I've ever seen in my life. It's
100%.
right. Somebody was trying to drive the lane. It was Embiid goes like this. Oh, go ahead. It's like being nice and opening a door for somebody.
Oh, do you need some help there?
Yeah. Let me give you a little boost.
That's why I enjoyed the Tatum Brown thing because it was the only time where there was actually defense being played and it was actually competitive. Like they were going at each other, trying to see if they could go to the lane, shoot. Like that was actually entertaining to watch. And he was trying to stop him from getting that all-time score in the All-Star game. So it was fun to watch that. But then after that, it was like, okay, these guys are just gonna Come on, play no defense. 3.
Look at us all agreeing on this. Look at that. All right, let's take a little bit of turn. We're gonna stay with the NBA real quick and talk about load management. Anthony Edwards, Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves and of Hollywood lore of Adam Sandler and what was the name of that movie? Gems, Uncut Gems. So he kind of calls everybody out. You got to be out there playing. He's on the fan side of this thing. He's one of the players that's still a believer in going out there and playing as much as you possibly can. Yes, you're going to get your bumps and bruises, and you may miss a game here and there, but it can't become load management, as Dave turns to the devil. It can't become a load management situation where I forgot. I don't know if it was Stephen A. Smith or who, maybe even Mad Dog. But if you find out the day of and you've paid $400 for your family to go see whoever, LeBron or Steph, whoever it might be, and a couple hours before the game starts, it's a load management day. They're going to be in street clothes. Like, what do you say to those fans out there that, first of all, probably got to scrape money together to go, bring their average family of 4 to an NBA game these days, plus the food, plus this, plus the parking, all this stuff. It becomes a weak situation, right? I mean, poor guy struggling to make ends meet, going to see millionaire athletes who decide they need a day off. So you got that, but then you got the commissioner of the league, Adam Silver, coming up, being asked a question, and kind of basically saying, I don't really spend my time thinking about things that aren't that big of a deal. And I'm paraphrasing it there. And then also saying, now I get he's got to defend his players to an extent, but scientific evidence, this and that. Sorry to bring up the Mets in this situation, but remember the guy who got hit in the face, Kevin Pillar, hit in the face, broken nose, broken orbital. He was back in 7 days, right?
Well, it's like any hockey meme. Gets hit in the face with a puck, puts a guard on, is out there 3 minutes later.
Right.
Turf toe, you're out fucking 6 to 8 weeks. Shit like that. It's the same thing.
Get caught with the skate.
Oh yeah.
Around your neck.
Oh my god.
Skate off into the locker room.
Get a few stitches, come back out. That's how it is.
And so for he's got to uphold this thing, and he's also got to be able to defend his player. I get that, but don't insult our intelligence by saying scientific evidence and this and that. In the NBA, there's 82 games. I get it. It's strenuous. It's up and down. Fantastic. But if you miss 10%, miss 8 games, that's already 10% of the season. LeBron James is now saying, and I'll say, LeBron isn't the worst offender of this. There's a lot of guys out there that I think are ahead of him in this. But he's missed a couple games from this, and now he's going to say, the next 23 games are the most important 23 games regular season wise of my career. Well, if Anthony Davis was playing, even if he had a bruise here and there, tweak this, tweak that, not major injuries, and maybe you didn't bring in Russell Westbrook. Ooh, I always do that.
Let's not.
You brought him in. He missed time. Now the Lakers are looking a little bit better with the group of guys that they brought in, shooters and everything. But my point is that if you didn't have some of this load management stuff, these 23 games might not be so pivotal. Maybe you're a little bit close. It's not a huge gap between where they are and where they need to be. But still, you're saying these are the 23 most important games. What about the few games that you missed? What about the few games that Anthony Davis missed to this? Kawhi Leonard is like the name and the face of this kind of stuff. It's a bad thing. It's not good for the NBA. It sucks. It's what most people talk about, and we should be talking about the games more than X player XYZ is missing 20 games due to load management. So now you got differing. You got the leader of the league saying, it's not that big of a deal. We'll look at it, but it's not that big of a deal. If I'm the commissioner, I start putting, collective bargaining. The NBA has the most control out of any player association in any sport. Demanding this, demanding that. That's another thing we'll talk about. Um, but the gist of it is you're screwing the fans over in all of this. So we'll see what happens this summer. But obviously, Anthony Edwards is not the only player that feels this way.
But I'm not going to defend these idiots because you know how I feel about it. But even still, LeBron decides to sit out in Brooklyn in a very high market, high watch. A team that people are going to want to watch in New York City.
Ed?
Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I'm saying? That's insane to me. I understand if you want to take off a day off in fucking, I don't know, whatever, Charlotte or whatever. Who cares? But I mean, they're talking about Brooklyn. It's still New York. I know people forget that Brooklyn's in New York. I forget that shit, but they think about the Knicks all the time. Yeah. But how do you take off when you're in Brooklyn for a night? Everyone's coming to see you.
I'll tell you why that happened was because he wasn't going to miss the Garden game. And I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that if he had in his mind, or whoever the powers that be say you're going to take one of these 2 games off on a back-to-back, he's not missing the Garden. Nobody's going to miss the Garden over Brooklyn. Not to excuse it, but go ahead, Dave.
Play both.
That's
agreed. 1,000% agree.
I feel like we go back to that comment that Van Gundy said, Stan Van Gundy, that
yes.
How is it that all these NBA players are so hurt now with the more like medical staff they have, all these different like needs that they have than they didn't have last year, and they still played the same amount of games. It wasn't like I keep seeing people say shorten the season.
Caught my step.
Yeah, keep shorten the season from 82 games. 82 games is too much. It's been 82 games for how long? None of these guys were getting hurt that much. And then maybe change the back-to-backs, but even then it's like if you're in the same city, like for example with New York, where you can literally stay in somewhere central and just go to Brooklyn and then go to
it makes sense.
MSG later. Like, you're not going that far as a travel. Like if you're going, and it's not like they're either making them go from like Cleveland and then making them go to Phoenix. That's not how bad the travel is. So I don't.
Yeah, they've changed it all up. Remember they used to have like a ton of, like 2 or 3 times a year they would have 4 games and 5 nights.
Yeah,
they've changed that up so they don't have as many of those. If they're going to shorten the season, it's not. I'd be a proponent of that only because it feels like the season's too long, and one of the discussion points was to even extend it into July to get rid of all back-to-backs. I mean, come on.
If they're going to complain about back-to-backs, it shouldn't be about the amount of games. It shouldn't be.
Right.
It should, and I guarantee the NBA, your boy Adam Silver's not going to do that because apparently he cares more about his money and revenue, just like Roger Goodell. So he's not going to do that. He's going to keep the 82 games. But if you're going to do it, just extend the season. You get, I guess, more money because now you have a longer time span, and then the playoffs end in July. Perfect. If that's what you want to do. But I'm pretty sure that
then it's LeBron a 9-month sport, right?
And all these guys want to have more time off before the season starts, so they're not going to agree to that. So then just stop bitching about the back-to-backs, honestly. It's dumb.
And again, I don't want you to think I'm defending the king, but we should be focusing more on the 28-year-olds and not allowing them to fall into this.
Yeah.
We should, like, the 38-year-old, let's cut, no matter what he looks like, let's cut the 36-year-old, 35-year-olds a little bit more slack.
I completely agree with you. LeBron didn't do that during his heyday years.
Exactly. He was playing
every
82.
single game. The only
Right.
time he wouldn't play is if he got a cramp, which he loved to get here in Miami for some reason. But yeah, your other boy, Street Clothes. Honestly, he's the only one I give exception to.
Why are these
'Cause-
all my boys?
All your boys.
Street Clothes.
Anthony Davis became my
Anthony
boy.
Davis. He's the only exception to this rule because the man can't stay healthy, and he can take his days off. No one's coming to see Anthony Davis regardless. So, but it's what Anthony Edwards said. I say is true. Like, go out there and play. There's always that story that I forgot who was it that said it about Kobe, that they asked Kobe, "Oh, Kobe, you heard you can take the game off," and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna take the game off because I'm pretty sure that there's people who come to see me. It doesn't matter if I'm playing in LA or in Charlotte. People come to see me play, and some people that's the only time they're gonna see me play, and they spend all their money to come see me play, and I'm gonna go out there for them." And I feel like that's gotten lost on a lot of these younger kids where they could care less about these fans. They care more about lining their pockets.
Well, and that's another reason why, or part of the reason. And real quick on the Kobe thing, he did all that, and you know that when that happened, he was called cocky and arrogant. See, but that's just it. You have to. There's got to be a fine line. I know I'm a badass, so I don't want people saying I wasted my money because they didn't see me. But I also got to walk the line and say, all right, I'm not this cocky asshole. I don't know. I think more people like Anthony Edwards have to speak up. They have to let their voices be heard. And again, the NBA should also be focusing on the 25 to 28-year-olds saying, you guys don't need this load management stuff. You guys are kids, right?
Fuck
I
that.
thought
You're
this-
making $40 million. Play.
Pay. Make the pay based. I know this is against all union stuff, but make the pay based on minutes. You'll see everybody playing 48 minutes a game.
Well, maybe not
All of
minutes,
a
but I
sudden,
guess games
everything's
played
good.
would be
Yeah,
more.
games played. Yeah, that's fine. And just one more bit about the All-Star game. Giannis, it felt like they knew that he wasn't going to be able to play. I feel like he took a spot away from somebody, and he could have just been the coach. For Timmy, for your sake, he has a wrist issue. He came in. Luckily, the ball bounced in his direction. He put up a layup, scored 2 points, and he left the game.
Yeah. I got
They
one more
took
thing
a
about the
spot
All-Star
away.
game too. They did absolutely.
Listen, just abolish all All-Star
That'll
games.
put it over the top for Timmy to hate the All-Star.
Abolish all of them. Get
Well,
rid of all of them.
What they should honestly do, if these guys don't want to play the All-Star game, get rid of the All-Star game and do what I forgot when they proposed this. Do a little in-season tournament for something.
Yeah.
That they're actually gonna want to play for. That it can be like the first whatever mid-season finals,
I
whatever.
thought it was the
No,
dumbest
let-
idea I
let
ever
them-
heard when I first heard it.
let
And
them
then
rest their
I was
boo-boos.
like, "Oh, this is
No All-Star game. Let them all rest their boo-boos. Go home for 3 or 4 days. rest your little boo-boos. Get all snug in your blankies. And shut the fuck up. You're making $40 million.
And in the baseball All-Star game, if somebody knows they ain't gonna play, they bow out and they let somebody else, because it could be a first-time guy. You're taking away this tremendous thing and money, because there's many contracts come with bonuses for making the All-Star game and stuff. Let's get to the NFL. NF freaking L. Your boy, Aaron Rodgers has emerged from his state. Was it Oregon that he was at? That he was in?
Oregon,
It was one
I
of those.
think.
Oregon. Okay. They showed like pictures of it. 300 square feet of space, total darkness. He had hoped to. I'm sure he was on shrooms and stuff, whatever that stuff that he was on for. So that's happening. Derek Carr has gone on to visit. He's visited the Jets, who has promised that he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he joins that team. He's visited the Saints, and then obviously been released since then. So we wanted to do a little bit of have a little bit of fun here and get hired for fake money, monopoly money, as GMs of these teams here. And we can focus on the quarterback position here. So I want to start with you, Mello. Lamar Jackson, big piece. You just got hired, baby. You just got hired. The whole talk is, should I give this guy $500 million of guaranteed money? Should it be like $400 million contract with 200 guaranteed, or let the man walk? So, Mello, you've been hired. Congratulations for this fake contract, for this fake money. As GM of the Baltimore Ravens, you haven't talked to Lamar yet. What's your first steps here?
So I want to thank the Baltimore Ravens organization first for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it. You will not be disappointed. We will be in the Super Bowl within the next couple of years as contenders. So here's what I'm doing. And as unpopular as opinion this might be,
He's gonna let it walk.
I am letting Lamar Jackson go.
Oh,
As great as a quarterback as he is, we are two off on two different directions. I would love to keep him here if he's willing to talk, but I'm going to let him explore, out there. What I'm going to focus on is our quarterback for the future, and I think that's going to start with
Daniel
a
Jones.
fan favorite, Tyler Huntley. Absolutely not. I am not bringing that cancer to this organization.
Why is he cancer? Sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
bringing
Mr.
that
GM.
greedy MFer here. To a great organization as prestigious as the Baltimore Ravens are. So I'm going to focus on Tyler Huntley, who, if he doesn't fumble the ball, we just got to work on that a little bit more. They are probably beating the Cincinnati Bengals. So, and then going off and playing Buffalo. But that's nor here nor there. And I'm going to work on that receiving core because it is absolutely trash. And I'll repeat that for, the fans. I know you'll agree with me. Trash. And I think the defense right now is stacked. We're going to keep that intact. Make sure all the guys who played out of their minds get paid. Maybe, let JPP give him another year here. I think he liked wearing that purple. And going to focus on that receiving core to be able to give Huntley an opportunity. And then I think what we can do as well, just in case if he doesn't pan out, bring in a backup that was a starter before. And
Daniel Jones.
And no, he was a starter before, and he's proven that he's able to take these small town organizations to relevancy. We're going to bring him here, and he's pretty common with this division as well. And effective immediately, we are signing Baker Mayfield to compete. And who knows? Maybe he's able, to take get us out there as well, or give that defense the motivation that he has been able to do in all the other teams he's been in. So I hope you guys are happy. This organization is moving in the right direction. And go Ravens.
Go Ravens. Baker Mayfield.
You had me right up to Baker Mayfield.
As a backup, I didn't say he was going to start.
All right.
At least, listen, you took a step there. You took a step there in the right direction, admitting backup status. Okay.
In case, this guy gets hurt, Baker could step in, and we know he can run the offense. But he needs weapons.
Now, this is to Dave, the non-GM. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would say that you would bring in Baker Mayfield as a backup to Huntley?
Absolutely not. I also would not want to give up Lamar Jackson, but after looking at their core of guys, they have to. Either he has to come down, they franchise tag him, but even that's going to hurt him because they don't have much room to work with. They need to work on those guys, and at least Huntley wasn't completely awful. He wasn't great, but he's been able to keep you in games because of that defense. And, hey, Trent Dilfer did it. Joe Flacco did it. Maybe Tyler Huntley does it too.
Yeah. Huntley is a poor man's Lamar Jackson. All right. Timmy, the Raiders. Look at you, and you got your favorite. You got your favorite. You got an office in that building.
Yes, I do. Right next to Al Davis's toupee collection. Which is the fucking worst.
It's a good thing Timmy got the Raiders and not the boss, because you know that he would have spent more time at the MGM or Caesar's Palace than at the actual stadium doing work.
Blasphemy.
Well, now that hearing what GM Melo would do, as I am now going after Lamar Jackson hard and fast and furious because what's his name? Josh Jacobs is a free agent. I could have a running back and a quarterback for the same price. Let him walk. Let him walk. He'll end up with the Buffalo Bills. Anyway, I think the Buffalo Bills are going after them pretty hard. And I'm going to go hard after Lamar Jackson. Then, man, do we need some defense after that. But yeah, Lamar Jackson. If I can't get Lamar Jackson, I got the 7th pick. I might package the 7th pick and try to move up to get one of these young studs coming out of college this year. But I would have to say, now that the Ravens have passed, I'm going after Lamar Jackson. Hard, fast, furious, all the way, no problem. Followed by defense, man. Cornerback, safety. They need everything. Everything. Traded for what's his name? Rocky Sin, and now he's a fucking free agent already. He might walk already. They need a lot of help on defense more than quarterback. But Lamar Jackson, welcome to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
We are tax free. There's no taxes in this state. We have gambling. We have a Death
You guys could
Star.
have made a trade. The sign and trade. You guys could have made a deal there.
Hey, he
Wow,
caught him.
that
He let him walk. I'm
Well,
taking
remember,
him.
this is pending everything. I can't be like, so Timmy, you want Lamar Jackson? I'll franchise tag him and sign and trade.
In our world, in our world, your domino is the first to fall.
What would you want then, Dave? What would you want for that? A sign and trade?
You guys would have to. Oh my god, that's
Because
awful.
See, the Raiders have.
Yeah, the thing is, I like that move for you guys because he has weapons there. He has Waller. He has Renfro.
yes.
He has Adams.
The
I don't
offense
think you
is
guys
pretty
would give that
decent.
up
Yes.
No. We'd have to package a couple picks.
unless you guys Can you franchise tag Josh Jacobs?
I don't know if he's eligible, but we do have
And
50
the
million cap space. That's why I'm.
That's
thinking,
about 10 million right now for running backs. That meaning nothing. It's not a.
Because
That
I
is
wouldn't mind
nothing.
swapping. I'll take Jacobs from you, pair him with Baker. I mean Huntley, and then and then
We
you
all
get Jackson.
know what's going on, Dave.
Yeah.
We all know. Tyler
is
Huntley
there a
will all of a
thing-
sudon not be available.
Yeah. No, he'll get
Mayfield's
a
starting.
puncture wound.
He's on load management.
Yeah. A puncture wound in his lung. Okay, so there's two types of franchise tags, right? NFL free agency is probably the most confusing of them all. But there's two types of franchise tags: the regular franchise tag and the transferable franchise tag. I heard today for the first, and I might have misunderstood it, but it is once you sign somebody to the transferable franchise tag, is it because all that they were talking about is 2 first-round picks? Is it a mandatory 2 first-round picks? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Because that's less money, the transferable one.
Right.
Toward the cap space.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think it's automatic 2 first-round picks.
Okay, because that's all that they were talking about on all the shows. Okay.
Which I'm not doing that. I'd rather take the chance in the draft.
Yeah. 2 first-round picks, and they were talking about our last segment here. As soon as we're done with this, we're gonna sound off on Daniel Jones, and we decided to do that because the 3 of us are Giants fans, so we'll each have a little say in it. But if I put my GM cap on for the other, I share. I'm the little brother of the New York Giants. I just come up to the podium and I say I quit and walk off. No, I kid.
I'm out.
I'm out, baby.
The position
I'm
is
out.
vacant again.
I'm done.
You're gonna pull
No,
a Bill
but
Belichick and he quit the same day. Thanks for giving me this job. I'm out. Gotta go.
I actually think that the GM job for the New York Jets is probably the easiest of all of them right now. You have your picks, right? So right now look at this. I am waiting on. I should have done it before. I'm waiting. First of all, I already saw Derek Carr. Had a great meeting with him. He's done really good things over in Vegas. I'm sorry, you guys mistreated him. You threw him out. It wasn't right. But he's done well there. He's never had a defense. He's never had a. Listen to this. He's never had a top 25 defense.
Mm-hmm.
Never. So
We're working on it.
we're there's like the fake chats,
Yeah.
the tweets, and then we're working on it, you bastard. uh, okay, so my frame of mind is I just told this guy, which might be a little bit outlandish. I just told this guy that he's the future first ballot Hall of Famer if he signs with us. I'd be like, why would I tell him that if I wasn't interested in signing him? This is like the breaking the fourth wall. I got this guy over here. He's taking a darkness retreat. I don't even know if the Packers want him anymore. That's to some of the inside rumblings and grumblings, because he's a head case. Now I also know that Aaron Rodgers was staying in a 300 square foot space the last 4 days, so maybe he is practicing for living in the city. But I'm gonna pass on Aaron Rodgers. This has got to wait until June. All this stuff has to wait until June. I don't. First of all, I've got Super Bowl caliber defense. I've got skill positions at every position. I thought I had Zach Wilson, but we're going to let him sit to the side a little bit, learn from this next guy. But absolutely not dealing with this Rodgers situation. Let him go deal with that with Green Bay and try and work himself somehow to you guys over in Las Vegas. I'm signing Derek Carr. I think that if we had a quarterback that knew at least a little bit of what they were doing last year, we make a nice little postseason run. I'm not saying that we make it to the Super Bowl and stuff, but I say that if we had even a mediocre quarterback, cut down on the mistakes, you win more games, might even get close to the Bills with the defense that we have. So I'm signing Derek Carr. I just got to wait for my running back to be healthy. I love my wide receivers, and we have an elite defense. And now I quit. I don't want to work for the Jets.
So, how much are you paying Sir Derek Carr? I'm just curious.
Sir Derek Carr, I don't know the whole what's our cap situation. I'll pay the man. The man will get paid. Listen, how old is he?
31? 32?
1? 32. Listen, this is 2023. I'll go the way the Mahomes deal, not the dollar amount, but just to be able to kind of elongate this type of thing. Guys can play quarterbacks with the rules now. They ain't getting touched. They're putting them down to go to sleep when they get a sack. They could play a long time. I don't know that Rodgers wants to play a long time. I got him for 2 years. I got to deal with this again next year in the offseason. Maybe he'll retire. Maybe he won't. And then I'm left with Zach Wilson. No. Derek Carr, come on down, baby. Try this jet green, baby. Look at Ed. Bobby Bonilla. Has a second. I knew about this because, I don't want to be the only guy doing this. Deferred contract with the Baltimore Orioles. He gets another $500,000 every year from 2004 to 2029. The man had the best agent out there.
His agent's a fucking genius.
For real. Can I get that contract for CST and PCP? Like, you guys want me to go away? Like, I'll gladly take a deferred contract.
So I didn't even realize that we all have AFC teams. So maybe next week we play the role of some NFC teams.
There's a couple.
There's a couple. But before we get on out of here, let's talk about. That's how you sack people. That's how you sack people these days, Timmy. Just put them down on a nice little pillow. All right, let's talk about the Giants situation. They have 2 free agents. They got Daniel Jones and they got Saquon Barkley. They got to figure out what they got to do. Franchise one, deal with this and the other. Now this guy, just come out and say you didn't say it, Daniel. Just you ain't getting $45 million. And if you're getting $45 million, it's not from the Giants. It better not be from the Giants. But
nobody's giving him 45.
I don't understand it. I don't know if the new agent had. I just don't know. We kind of all talked the other day and said maybe like a 3-year, $60 million deal. or you franchise him and he realizes that he might be best suited to play on the franchise tag. Because if he has another year like he did this year, then maybe he adds some millions to whatever it is. I'm not comfortable paying him that much money, and I've always been on Daniel Jones's side, but
Oh,
I'm not doing it for 45 million. I'm not doing it for 35 million. I just don't see it. I don't want to hamstring the Giants by having such a massive cap hit for somebody who, he had a much better year than he had the year before. 22 touchdowns, one of three. See, this is where I think it gets in his head a little bit. Is when his agent says, "Hey, you were one of three guys to get 3,000 yards passing, 700 yards rushing," and the other two guys are Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Like this is gassing his head up, and he should be smarter. I told you guys he's from Duke. He's be a little bit smarter than this, but I don't see it happening. I hope it doesn't happen. 3 years, 60 million, I'm okay with. You bring Barkley back and you get him some wide receivers. That's my take on it. If I was the GM of the Giants, I'll let Mello, you go last because you're going to be you've been on the opposite side of the spectrum here. Timmy, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, 3 years, 20 million sounds about right. Maybe 25 for good measure. That 30, I'll give him that extra $5 million. Just but I would backload that with a shitload of performance bonuses. Is fucking Jerry Maguire his agent? Like really gassing him up like that? No, because listen, we haven't been, me and you, Frotch, I'm saying we haven't been defending him more along the lines of we don't know.
Right.
We've seen that for 4 years now. We don't know because he's horrible offensive line, no one to throw to. So we don't know. And I hate to tell you, we still don't know. We don't really know yet. This was the year that we should really find out. We know he's capable of running a team. That's good. Behind Daboll and his offense and the offense centered around him, we know he can at least do that. But now can he take that step, that Josh Allen step? This is what we have to find out. But for 45 million, you can go fucking play in Tennessee for all I care. Because, dude,
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. He bet. I'll turn on him quick, dude. I'm talking mafia style. Hi, my best friend. Gun to the back of the head. 2 seconds later, blow your fucking head off because that's ridiculous.
I just wanted to throw him through the barbershop window.
Yeah, exactly. I will raise his hand and then super kick him through a window because he's not even worth close to that. I'm not even giving him 30. No, I'm not giving it to him. I would load him up for 20 for 3 and say if you want 45, earn that shit. Earn it for the next 3 years. Then you know what? Then we'll talk about 45, 50 million a year.
Yeah.
Other than that, sorry, my friend, it ain't gonna happen. And this shit has to be settled in the next 30 days.
Oh yeah.
If we have to make a deal before the draft, this shit's got to get settled quick, and it's got to be quick. You know what I would do? I would say here's what we're offering you, 25 for 25 a year for 3 years. No, okay. Now I'm going to offer you 25 a year for 2 years. Nope. All right. 25 for 1 year. No, then go fuck yourself. I'd take away shit. Instead of adding, I'm taking shit away. I'll play real hardball with him. Hey, dude, we stood behind you for 4 years while everyone in the league made fun of your ass. Everyone in the league called you a waste and a joke, and we stood by you, and this is how you repay us? You got to go.
And if he just has that forward thinking, look, there's, and I'm not saying he's going to be Josh Allen, but Josh Allen, without Daboll, increased his turnovers a lot. Daniel Jones had a massive turnover problem. With Daboll, he did not. So, just to add to what I was saying before, it is in your best interest to stay with Brian Daboll because he created what you're now asking $45 million for. Mello?
Well, I want to thank the New York Giants organization for hiring me now for this time being. No, I love that you guys are finally starting to see the light. And like you said, boss.
But it's money. It's money-based.
He is from Duke.
Value. Yeah.
He's an entitled little, you know the word. That's what he is. He's not smart. He's just entitled. He's entitled is what it is. It's not about him being smart. I'm pretty sure he is. But he's entitled. And here's where, like the headline says below, let Daniel Jones walk. I will let him walk faster than Lamar Jackson. Asking for this, like, again, it was mind boggling that before anything happened, before we got eliminated, I think they had asked Saquon, like, oh, are you looking to be like the highest paid? And he's like, no, I'm not looking to be the highest paid. I don't want to reach McCaffrey status or any of that. You know, I want to help my team win. I want to stay here in the Giants. I was gonna say New Jersey. And I was like, okay, awesome. I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones is gonna take the same route. Like, why not? Take your 30. But like this, I'm being generous. I would give him 30 for 1 year. I'm not giving him 30 for 3. I'm good with what Timmy said, 25 for 3. Well, I'm sorry, 25 a year for 3 years, and give him a bunch of incentives. Have him prove again that he can put up these numbers consistently. If he gets a playoff win, boom, here's another mill. If you're able to throw 30 or 40, well, we don't know if he's going to throw 30 touchdowns. But if he's able to throw 30 touchdowns, there. If he's able to rush for 10, another incentive. I would do that. I'm not giving him 40.
I'm all
plus
about
million
incentives.
dollars.
You know me.
Yeah, I'm not giving him 40 mil a year. Not even close to it. Like I said, I would go 30, and that's pushing it. But I would do what Timmy said, the 25 with incentives. Give him that for a year or two, maybe. Give him that option. There, you know, you have a little bit more time. It's proven, and then boom. Okay, now at that point in 2 years, who knows what the max is going to be? It might be 50 a year. So if anything helps him out, better than staying now at this damn 40, where I'm not giving him that. Go wherever else you want, Daniel Jones. I will happily go and give up 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers.
Or Lamar Jackson.
Or Lamar Jackson.
Lamar. Yeah, I mean that's why we need to know ASAP, because there's going to be the dominoes are going to start falling. There's going to be one that everybody's waiting for, or whoever wants to go after the mess starting in June with Aaron Rodgers. And I meant to say this before, but this is hindsight 2020. Obviously, can't go back and do this, but had the Giants picked up that 5th year option, we'd be paying him $22 million on the 1 year, on a one extra year of proving it, rather than if we franchise him now, you're at 32. So, and he's not, and 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have played on a franchise tag: Drew Brees, Dak, and I forgot who the third one was.
Boy, Cousins never played on their franchise tag?
Cousins.
How'd you forget that?
So 3. Cousins making 35, 40 a year on that thing. They should just name the franchise tag the Kirk Cousins tag. Because that's what happened.
The Kirk Cousins tag of money. That's what he used to call it.
He's gonna teach a master class. You want to know how to steal a bunch of money from a franchise? I got you.
Got you. Yeah, $22 million would have been it.
All right, so 22 for the tag.
Would you guys have done that though? Would you guys have given that 5th year out, like taken the 5th year?
Well, knowing now, I mean,
not knowing now, before.
That's what
like if you were put in that position, would you have taken that?
No, before the season, no.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Hindsight 2020.
No, because this was his make or break season to see if he can do stuff. Which now we know he can. He has the ability, but there is another step you got to take. Can you lead this team deep into the playoffs? I mean, we went into the playoffs, we got our asses whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we did get 1 win.
We got 1 win,
and we expected to win 6 games.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, and without no weapons. Imagine with weapons. Imagine with someone to throw to. Imagine that the guards that can fucking block. We'd be pretty set. But look, if the tag was 22, he wants 45. I'm giving him 25. I ain't budging after 25. At least for a year or two. I said you proved. I'm tired of proving it. Well, Dick, you only proved it 1 year.
Yeah.
The other were a disaster. You know what I'm saying? And again, not entirely his fault. I will not blame him completely, because I could block better than half those fucking linemen he's had the first couple of years of his career, and it sucks. But sorry, man, that's just the way that it goes right now. You're getting blamed for your shitty offensive line. That's how the sport goes.
Yep.
It sucks, but that's just how it is. Dave's entire basis of your career is based on a shitty line group and no one to throw to. It's just the way it is, because you suck. Sucked. So I'll tell you what, 22 is a franchise. He wants 45, 25. 25 for 2. You prove it, I'll give you fucking 45 at the end of that 2 years. No problem.
Yeah. So and then there was some of the. What was the ridiculous one that I said? 2 years, 90
Was it 2 years?
to prove it. That was okay. You know, one of my
Oops.
favorites is Swagoo, and that was his recommendation. But I don't agree all the time. But basically, what he said was, give that man 2 years, 90 million, and if it doesn't work out, you only ruin 2 years, and that man's set for life. So,
And then we lost Saquon for how long? We just
Yeah.
wasted another 2 years on Saquon.
but the good thing about Saquon that helped us in the last couple of days was who was it that was it Mixon that restructured their deal down to 11 million.
I
think
Like
they're close.
if Daniel Jones sucks into the next 2 years, he reverts back. We just lost Saquon at a prime for 2 more years, and I'm not willing to do that.
And we are far apart, though. I'm more worried about Saquon than I am about Daniel Jones, because they are far apart. Because they
Who took
announced
the
today
pay cut yesterday?
he's going to hit free agency. He'll probably end up hitting free agency right now, and that's not good.
No.
Because the Bills are going to come a calling. They might want him over Josh Jacobs, but
Well,
tell you right now.
You're on the money there with the Bills. They are definitely looking for a running back. There's talk about them exploring a trade for Derrick Henry. There's a Bills are
they
Bills
haven't had a superstar running back since Thurman Thomas. They have average to good guys, but they haven't had a superstar. They need that superstar to take the pressure off Josh Allen. That's what they're going to go after. I see Josh Jacobs, but let's say Saquon hits that market. Well, holy shit, we can get him for cheaper than Josh Jacobs. So let's go after Saquon now. We'll give him 15. Bills will give him 15 easy.
For sure.
Yeah. The guy who took the pay cut was Aaron Jones. I thought it was Mixon for some reason, but basically he restructured, which is a trend at running back. So he's now 15 million. He was scheduled to make 15 or 16, 15 and a half. Now he restructured to 11. So that helps us in the Saquon deal. But again, if you're waiting to see what the hell the astronomical asking price that Daniel Jones is doing.
That's why I think if they pay
might miss
Jones,
out on
Saquon walks. If they decide
if
to
you
pay
franchise,
Jones,
if you franchise Saquon, it's about a $10.5 million cap hit, and if you franchise Daniel Jones, we already know that's 32 and some change.
but then you also have the risk of Saquon next year being like, all right, well, I'm looking to get paid, and you guys aren't going to do it, so I'm out.
Yeah, or not playing on the franchise tag, because.
Yeah, you have that
on
option
the Cousins
now.
tag. Yeah, option.
It does suck because we're paying both of these guys. Where's the money for the wide receivers we need?
Yeah.
Where's the money for our upcoming draft class? Where that money's not there now. I know we have a lot of cap space, but
and we have
if you're giving
free agents.
If you're giving 50 of it to two guys, where the rest of it's gone.
Yeah.
Then we have no wide receivers still, and we're still stuck with fucking Kenny Galladay.
I will say that the Kenny Galladay. I will say that they when they're talking about the Saquon deal, they're talking about, and he seems to be in agreement with this part, similar to what Nick Chubb did. The first year was 4.7 million only, and then it increased from there. So that's what they're looking to do with Saquon. I think he's okay with that because say what you want about any of the guys in the NFL. Saquon's all about winning. He's always talked about it. It's not been the best option to be on the Giants when talking about that while he's been in the NFL. But I really think he's about winning. And if there's a precedent set for it, I think he'll go that route. But again, we should not be pinning all of our hopes on Daniel Jones when you got Derek Carr out there, when you got some other guys out there that can step up.
And then who's giving Daniel Jones that money? The Redskins, the Commanders, whatever, Tennessee.
Bieniemy. They already have Bieniemy lying, saying that he's happy to be on the Commanders. Get out of here.
Listen, wait, who said that?
Bieniemy.
Oh, Vienna. He'd be happy to be a Commander.
That's a deal I don't understand at all.
The only reason I understand it is because the whole talk was in Andy Reid's shadow. all this stuff, but to the Commanders, you're not gonna have. You have no pieces that match. I think I don't know if I said it in one of the chats. I said the only similarity that the two organizations had was Redskins and Chiefs. And now that the Redskins have changed their names, there's no similarities between the two teams. They're not going with Taylor Heineke either. They said they were talking about. So it's going to be
until week 7.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, Heineken's been, I don't understand why they have no confidence in him. Like, he's been able to win games for you guys and put you in winning situations.
Turned that franchise around last year. They made a run. That was him.
Makes no sense.
No,
but yeah, Carson Wentz.
oh
You know
my
what's
God,
good? Better for us. Better for us.
yeah. One final thing, and it's basketball related, so we can just have a laugh. We don't even have to comment on it. Did you hear what Kyrie said?
Oh boy.
What do you say now?
Kyrie said he did his job in Brooklyn. Really? Really? Missed all that time, ain't played but 16 games between the big three that they had. I've said this once, I say it a million times. Thank God the Knicks did not win this time around in free agency. Thank God, because as bad as the Nets are the laughing stock right now, the Knicks would be 1,000 times worse because it's amplified because they're one borough over and they've had their history. So not that we have to say anything about it, but that's laughable.
I mean, I won't say it's a little laughable, but it's not particularly a lie. He brought KD over there. He was able to get hard in there. He brought him, some stars, but the pandemic happened and that just spoiled everything.
Why did it spoil everything?
Because there's no. If he didn't want to get the vaccine, let him freaking play and get COVID.
It's the rules.
It's the rules in New York.
It's the rules.
Again,
it's the rules in Russia for
there's no way
Brittany
he
Griner
was,
to get detained.
There was no way that he was going to be able to predict that. As much as he knows the Earth is flat. There's no way he was going to be able to predict that COVID would have prevented him from playing basketball. And instead of the organization standing by him, and the NBA, they said, "Yeah, sorry, Kyrie." So yeah, he did his job for the most part, not everything, but for the most part.
And then he said, "Fuck the Jews."
God, Kyrie.
And he retracted his apology after he was unsuspended.
Oh.
But Timmy, I don't know. I doubt that you saw this highlight, but his first game with Luka. The game was it was a 2-point game in the final seconds, and basically Luka and Kyrie played a game of pass the ball to each other until time ran out. And then Kyrie in the post game press conference, he goes, "Man, what are you, Dallas? You guys are great, but I wish I would have gotten a shot up for you. Man, that really pissed. Put the shot up."
They're trying to show each other. No, you take that. No, it's your team. No, it's your team. That kind of thing, right?
I'm afraid that Kyrie's going to ruin Luka.
No, I think
it's going to be too short-lived. He's gone.
Stop. I think he has to do what Kyrie has to do what Dwayne Wade did for LeBron. He waited a year too late because we could have had 3 championships. But he has to tell Luka, this is your team.
Yeah.
You run point, and we all follow you. That has to be made very clear in that locker room, because if not, you're going to have guys gravitate to Kyrie, guys gravitate to Luka, and then they're not going to win anything.
Did you see in the All-Star game when LeBron picked Kyrie? You saw like Luka was sitting in the background and he was like, and LeBron and Kyrie with a big hug, and he was handshakes. Like, the moment that Luka realized that Kyrie's going to be a Laker next year.
Speaking of that, I guess we went through All-Star really quickly. Timmy, since you didn't watch, they were picking like the starters back and forth. Mm-hmm. LeBron had the second to last pick, so he still had a choice between Jokic and Markkanen. Jokic thought he was the last, like he was the last one. So LeBron's like, okay, Ernie asked LeBron, okay, who are you going to pick? And Jokic just stands up before he even says anything and just walks over to LeBron and hugs him, and LeBron's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with the reigning MVP, Jokic." And then Markin is just in the background there, like, "Oh, like good." Like
Oh,
it
damn.
was so awkward because it was like, again, Jokic, thought he was last. At least that's what he said. But still was kind of bad. Like, yeah, they're not picking you. They're gonna pick
And he's
me
goofy
over
anyway.
That's great. That is great.
All right. So we covered a shit ton of stuff today. 130 3-pointers were taking the NBA All-Star game this year. 130.
That's an average. That's an average Celtic game, though. They love chucking up threes, man.
That's the whole league. And we can talk about this next week, but somebody brought up that Steph kind of ruined the league because nobody's as good at what he does as him. So maybe that's something that we can talk about next week. But let's get the hell up on out of here. Timmy, GM of the Las Vegas Raiders, I think you did a great job today. That's revamped. You got Lamar Jackson. In the year, not only did Timmy make a big splash and sign Lamar Jackson, Super Bowl's in Vegas next year. He's looking to have a hometown Super Bowl.
And the 7th pick is up for grabs. Just want to say that right now. I'm willing to trade down.
Oh man,
my 7th pick.
He's making moves, baby.
I'm just saying, I want it right now. You want 7? Come and get it.
One quick thing. NFL, the last 3 Super Bowls: Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Vegas. NBA, the last 3 All-Star games: Cleveland, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Indianapolis, Indiana next year.
It's like they don't want people to watch these games.
Did you hear
purposely
Shaq?
don't.
You sure Shaq and them? They're like, they ain't nothing to do with this town. Was it Shaq or Barkley that said, "I've never ordered so much room service ever."
They want to go out. It's going to be worse next year in Indy.
Well, at least they can drink over there after a certain time.
Yeah. All right, let's get on out of here. Timmy, what you got for us on the way out?
I don't know.
Go Raiders.
Yeah, go Raiders, baby. We did it. We're back in the Super Bowl. We did it. I said number 7. I'm going to trade down, get 2 more picks in the first round, grab some defensive studs, and we're on our way. That's all.
John Madden would be proud.
John Madden, that's right. I'm doing it for Madden. Everything I do it for John. So. No, tomorrow, A to Z, I'll be on. You guys are more than welcome to come on if you want.
75.
Yeah, 75. So if you want to pop on for 75. And then I said it will happen. I'm rebooting it. Shooting the Sith will be back because Mandalorian starts Wednesday. So I will be back with Shooting the Sith coming very, very soon.
Right. Dave?
Nothing. Ravens, we're going to climb up that leaderboard soon enough, either with Hundley or Baker. Either one of them. And I mean, this was definitely a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it next week with the NFC.
That is going to be fun.
Oh, by the way, I think I told you two, boss. Don't forget, Dave, March 14th, the trial of the Ultimate Warrior.
I was there.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me. March 14th.
Dave is for the prosecution. Eric is for the defense.
Oh,
I am the judge, and we want everyone else to be witnesses.
Yeah,
so
you're all calling to the stand.
You're all getting subpoenaed, and you're all going to give your take. And I will be the one to decide at the end, guilty or not guilty of being a fraud or a dick, whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But that's March 14th on Just Too Sweet, the trial of the Ultimate Warrior.
Easy way to remember, Pi Day.
And Hundley will be the next better Trent Dilfer, since apparently Trent Dilfer doesn't think people can throw nowadays.
Be the next Daniel Jones.
Well, I mean, the Ravens have 2 Super Bowls with the worst quarterbacks in history, so he would know. He would know.
You mentioned The Mandalorian. Pedro Pascal, last 4 TV shows: Game of Thrones, Narcos, The Mandalorian, and The Last of Us.
The dude picks him. The dude can pick him.
What to do, man?
Like,
man. He was phenomenal on SNL, by the way, in case you missed it.
I didn't see it.
He was phenomenal on SNL.
I've seen a couple skits, and they were pretty for like the Wings one.
That and we see when he played the mother, the mother of the like a Spanish mom he played. Dave, you get on board with that one?
Yes, I did see
That
it. I saw
was
pieces of it.
fucking hilarious.
Did he have a chancleta?
He was like,
Better
because
check like
no
that.
one's good enough for his son, and oh my
Yeah.
god, it was so great.
Oh man,
It was a great episode though. So yeah, he's on fire. That guy.
he's ridiculous, insane. All right, so that'll do it for us this week. Listen, I think I had the easiest of the three actually with the Jets. I just had to put in a quarterback. I've got everything else. No, feel a little.
Well, you know what? Wait, one quick question too before we go. All three of us passed on Aaron Rodgers. Where does he go? Back to Green Bay, or does he end up like in fucking Tennessee or something?
I don't think Green Bay even wants him anymore. Stop it, Dave. Where does he go?
I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for him.
No, I go.
I don't think he'll go to the Aints.
Yeah, but he's gonna want 50. You don't want to get Daniel Jones 40, but you'll give him 50.
Absolutely, he's a Super Bowl winning MVP, 3-time MVP of the.
11 years ago, he won the Super Bowl.
He was
Yeah.
MVP 2 years back to back. Yeah,
Daniel Jones was 12 was the last time he won the Super Bowl.
Eli Manning has 2 Super
Rodgers.
Bowls, 2 MVPs.
but he has back to back Super Bowl of the league. Like that's like saying you're gonna pass up on
MVP
Peyton
league.
Manning. No, you're not gonna pass up Peyton Manning, even if he just had neck surgery. Sorry.
He was
Look,
throwing up
at,
a lot
look,
of
look how the
ducks.
Broncos win on that. Went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1.
I could have passed better than him on the second one, though. I could have thrown
I
a
agree
deeper
with you on
ball.
that. Thank God for Von Miller.
Yes. All right. We will see you all next week. Like Timmy T said, or if you want to go back and watch, yesterday was Granny's 100th episode. They talked at length on Quantum Mania, including Timmy, Rick. I was on it to start. Jader was there. And then tomorrow is the 75th episode of A to Z.
That'll be the 75th time it gets canceled.
75th time he gets canceled. Yeah. Is there a returning old former producer for the special show? We'll wait and find out. That's a tease, Dave. Don't answer now. All right. What contest? I don't think we have any contests up right now. I'm going to be putting some on tonight. But
There wasn't Deposit getting a screener. I saw that on Instagram.
They got the real cocaine bear running around up there. So. They got a real one.
I can't wait to see Cocaine Bear.
I can't wait either. I actually want the Funko Pop. I want the pop.
Oh yeah, I
There's
saw
a
that.
pop
Yes,
of it?
yes.
There's a pop of
Yeah.
Does he
cocaine bear.
have
He got white powder and blood in his mouth.
That's
Awesome.
great.
And the best of it is that it's it's partially a true story. It's like, how can you go wrong with that? All right. On that note, peace out, everybody. We'll keep you updated on all the stuff that's going on in the group. And next week, we will play general manager roles of NFC teams, out of our Giants. We already did lambasted our current, future, maybe quarterback. All right. Peace out, everybody. Boom.